Hey guys, how you doing today? I'm the Jazz Shepherd. My name is Dan. We're here to talk jazz and jazz labels. Today we're going to cover a little small label out of New York called Dawn. Big fan of Dawn Records. I think most people will discover Dawn via Zoot Sims. I actually came to him via the Jazz Modes, Julius Watkins and Charlie Rouse. But the Zoot Sims stuff got me real quick as well. They're a small label. I think there's 27 records in all total. They were founded in '55 by a guy named Sidney Siegel, another Jewish fella. They're a subsidiary of Seco, which was more of a pop label. Biograph and Fresh Sound are two labels that have reissued their material both in the 70s and the 80s. Dawn Records is great stuff. They kind of have the same vein to a degree as a Bethlehem, where they're really speaking to white college hipsters, the village crowd, the beret and the scooters. You know what I mean? It's not racially charged jazz music. It's still great music though, and it's great playing. I'm going to show you a few albums here. To start off with is the Zoot Sims. And you'll notice right off the bat, these are beautiful covers. Like Bethlehem, there's quality photography, real beautiful graphic design that's actually fairly timeless. One of the real appeals of some of these great little jazz labels. Julius Watkins and Charlie Rouse, the Jazz Modes, have a little, one side of this album, this was Jazzville 56, the first album Dawn released, and that's kind of what got me onto Dawn Records. I was a big Charlie Rouse guy. I think Watkins is pretty interesting as well, but great stuff. Again, just a beautiful cover. You know, can't go wrong. A couple great guitar players that Dawn features. Dick Garcia, message from Garcia. She can take a message from me anytime. Joe Puma, big Joe Puma guy. Just got his Jubilee record the other day. Both great players, kind of second tier in terms of popularity, but they're just as great as the greats. You know, they're great players. This is one of the blacker records on Dawn. This is Paul Kinshay, the kid from Denver. Another great cover, nice colors. Hard to find. This one's tough to find. Dawn Records are never going to be cheap. They're never going to be that, you know, $5 bin very often. But they won't be ever more than $30-40, generally speaking. These are the other two records that Watkins and Rouse do, the Jazz Modes. Great kind of cheesecake cover on that one. Just a nice simple cover there. Nice black labels. Pretty well instrumentalized every time. They also have great session people. It's mostly a white affair, Dawn, like Bethlehem. I think that's what their target audience was doing. They do have this Randy Weston record, another African American record, which again, he's one of the great composers and arrangers on the piano and jazz. This record can be a little spinnier than some of these other ones. One of the real surprises for me on the Dawn label was Matt Mathews. He's an accordion player. You say accordion jazz? Because that's what I said, accordion jazz. And I absolutely loved this record when I first heard it. And it's a stroll down the Seine. It's Central Park in the fall. It's beautiful. It's organic. I'm amazed how well he can emote with an accordion. It doesn't seem like something that would lend itself to jazz. But if you look at the band on that, Oscar Pettiford, Kenny Clark, Joe Puma, Hermie Mann, Gigi Grice, Art Farmer, Dick Katz, and Julius Watkins. These aren't clowns he's playing with. He's playing with some giants. And none of those guys sign up for him on this session if he can't really do it. And it's a great record. My friend Adam Lynn's great bass player, played with a lot of the greats, used a lot of the greats basses. He gifted me this record for a great deal. This Lucky Thompson session. And it kind of threw me for a loop, to be honest, when I listened to it. Because I knew Lucky from the walking session with Miles. Thought he was a big, bold, brassy tenor. And I wasn't really getting that from this record, and I was very confused by it. I had it for 6-8 months. I listened to it probably once. And I had a hard time even kind of almost figuring out, is that the tenor? How does the tenor sound like that? What's going on? And it made me think it was just a kind of a weird recording from maybe a Parisian cafe, because I know he was over there for a while, that they licensed here in America. I was really kind of confused by it. Kind of forgot about it. But then the guy I just mentioned, Matt Mathews, the accordion fella, I got his second record. And I started listening to that. And I'm like, golly, there's a lot of beautiful tenor on this record. Who's playing? And I couldn't figure out the artist who was playing on this record. I guess it might have been Zoot Sims. But as I dug deeper, I could not get to the bottom of it. And then I remembered this Lucky Thompson record, how it didn't feel like it was a tenor record, and how this felt like a tenor record. And then I thought about, wait, how this one kind of felt like Parisian cafes. Wait a second. So I dug out a few of my other Dons trying to figure out what was going on. And I ended up using Shazam to be sure. And it turns out Don made a printing error. 1111 vinyl is the jacket for 1113 and vice versa. And I can't tell you if all these records are this way or for just the two I happen to come across. Obviously, some of these got printed with... It's labeled correctly. It says Lucky Thompson, but it's Matt Mathews. This one's labeled correctly. It says Matt Mathews, but it's Lucky Thompson. And I have a friend on one of my Facebook groups buying this record, I believe, and he's going to tell me if he's getting Lucky or Matt. I'm curious if anyone else can tell me, were these messed up in every pressing, or was it just some of these versions I got? Has anybody else ever heard of that mess up? It's a small kind of niche label, so I'm guessing it might have slipped under the radar. Anyway, it was great to hear the Lucky Thompson finally when I got the Matt Mathews record. That Lucky Thompson record is fantastic, and I love both the Matt Mathews sessions. I have almost everything on the Don label. There's a Donna Brooks record. There's one on eBay now for like $150, which is what I'm not paying that for that, but I'll stumble on it someday. And then towards the end of their discography, once you get into the 20s, there's quite a few label compilations where they're just kind of packaging up stuff from these early records, putting them out there. And those are great ways to start getting to know Don. Even those could go for $15-20. If you find one for $8 to $15, grab it. Get to know Don Records. Don Records is great stuff. New York Jazz, you can't go wrong. I'm the Jazz Shepherd. Stay tuned. Coming at you real quick. In the next few days, I'm going to drop a video on Jubilee. Another great New York label people don't know much about. Jazz Shepherd. Peace. Subscribe to my channel.